Okay, good morning, ladies. Today we're going to cover zinc. I'm going to start off with an article that it puts it together fairly well, but the part that I don't like is that the presenter that wrote this article is vegan, and he thinks you should only have plant-based stuff. You shouldn't have anything else. And so some of that I don't agree with totally, but he's got some other good information. And then I'm going to go into some other stuff that's, some other points that I'm just going to read excerpts from. So, this is from Ocean Robbins is his name. Have you heard of Baskin Robbins? This is his son, but he's into totally vegan stuff. So anyway, but he just updated this September 30th, so this is really recent. So, zinc, the title is Zinc, Benefits, Risks, and How Much You Need. So zinc gets good press in its role in shortening the common cold. That's basically what most people know it for, right? For colds.
It's also good for healing things.
Yes.
You know, like they put it in bacitracin and they put them in other things. It's good for healing.
Mm-hmm. And its possible contribution to COVID-19 prevention, but boosting the immune system is not all that zinc does for your body. So how much do you need? Where should you get it? And how much is too much? This article is going to go into some of those things. So, known for its contributions to a healthy immune system, zinc has a starring or supporting role in dozens of clinical trials studying ways to prevent COVID-19 infections and improve outcomes. But zinc is far more than an immune booster. This mineral, which only comprises a measly 0.0036% of the body mass.
Can you that number again?
0.0036% of a mass of a 150-pound person. Is amazingly critical for many aspects of your health. So how does zinc work in your body? How can you make sure you're eating foods high in zinc? Can you get it from food alone? Or do you need supplements to supplement? Is there such a thing as too much zinc? And can sucking a zinc lozenge prevent or shorten the duration of a common cold? This article explores the ins and outs of zinc so that you can get the right amount of this important mineral. So first of all, what is zinc? Here's the story. One day, early in the 19th century, the Royal Navy came to the chemist and inventor Sir Humphrey Davy with a big problem. To protect their ships from the kind of mollusks that bore into wood, shipbuilders had been lining the bottoms of these vessels with copper. Unfortunately, the salt water quickly corroded the copper, leading to costly and highly inconvenient repairs. Could Davy come up with a solution? Davy suggested attaching a sacrificial metal to the copper. And he calls it a sacrificial metal. That's what they called some of these metals. His element of choice was zinc. The zinc would protect the copper by from being degraded by the salt water, a process terminated as galvanization, later used to protect iron, steel, and other industrial metals from corrosion. The story ends sadly for Davy, who was still in the Navy, yes. While the zinc stopped the deterioration of the copper, it also made it far more susceptible to weeds and barnacles by providing them with nutrients that they found appealing. But it highlights the power of zinc, which can protect not only copper and iron, but us as well. Zinc is a naturally occurring trace mineral that your body needs to fight off bacteria and viruses. The adult body contains about 2 to 3 grams of zinc, approximately the weight of a penny, which is stored mainly in fluid, bones, tissues, and organs. However, your body does not make zinc, so you need to get it from food or supplements. Zinc is essential for growth in humans, animals, and even plants. He says here, if your pecan tree isn't producing nuts regularly, you make sure you fertilize with zinc in late winter.
So
I don't have
again, if your what isn't producing it?
Pecan tree. I don't have any of those, but
Okay.
zinc is used in cell division to create your unique DNA and plays a significant role in promoting wound healing. It's also crucial to fertility as it helps maintain levels of the reproductive hormones, testosterone and estrogen. Zinc also comes into play with the metabolism of fats and sugars, helping to regulate and express insulin. And zinc is largely linked to your sense of smell and taste, although the exact way this occurs is unknown. So, some of the health benefits of zinc. As you can see, zinc is an essential nutrient for a healthy, functioning body. Here are 7 important reasons that you should, to ensure you get enough zinc. 1, it helps with colds. It appears that every immunological event relates in some way to zinc. There's a strong connection between zinc deficiency and susceptibility to disease. Cochrane Library meta-analysis of 6 studies that include over 5,000 children between 2 months old and 5 years of age found that zinc supplementation reduced the incidence of pneumonia. And according to findings from 2020 systemic review, zinc is effective in shortening the duration and severity of the common cold by approximately 2.25 days. So don't get so excited. You still get a cold, but just not quite so long. People infected by COVID-19 who are zinc deficient develop more complications, are more likely to require hospitalization, have longer hospital stays, and are more likely to die. To prove that zinc can help with COVID-19 outcomes, one 2023 study found that oral supplementation with zinc decreased symptom duration, ICU admission, and death rates. Number 2, zinc during pregnancy. The World Health Organization estimated in 2013 that most pregnant women worldwide were at least somewhat deficient in zinc. This may contribute to the likelihood of poor birth outcomes and stunted infant development. Indeed, a global review of 21 randomized controlled trials found that zinc can reduce the risk of preterm birth. The WHO, World Health Organization, recommends micronutrient supplementation, including zinc, for pregnant women at risk of zinc deficiency. 3, zinc in the brain. Zinc is not the fictional brain-enhancing drug from the movies and all of that stuff. No, but the good news, many people can prevent age-related neurodegenerative diseases or disorders like Alzheimer's with diet and lifestyle habits. Getting enough zinc is a key part of this prevention strategy. It acts as an antioxidant, preventing oxidative stress in the brain that can otherwise increase your risk for neurodegeneration. In fact, an imbalance of iron and zinc ions, which is too much iron and not enough zinc, has been shown to lead to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease symptoms. 4, zinc and hormones. Zinc plays a huge role in regulating your hormones, including growth hormone, insulin, leptin, thyroid hormone, melatonin, and sex hormones. Getting enough zinc is important to ensuring your endocrine system is working properly. When it isn't, your various organs and systems can't communicate well, which can wreak havoc on your health, energy, and mood. Zinc is also key for reproduction and plays a role role in a process such as ovulation and fertilization. Zinc supplementation has offered improvement in symptoms for women with polycystic ovarian syndrome and dysmenorrhea. And zinc symptom benefits for men may include sperm motility and testosterone levels, and by extension, a boost in fertility. 5. Zinc and diabetes. According to a 2015 review of both test tube and human studies, zinc has many beneficial effects on type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Specifically, zinc appears to play an important role in pancreatic beta cell function, insulin activity, glucose modulation, and the process by which diabetes develops and has complications. However, it's unlikely that zinc deficiency directly causes type 2 diabetes, but rather people with type 2 diabetes have been shown to have lower levels due to insulin resistance. So if you're trying to prevent, reverse, or manage diabetes, in addition to watching your weight, make sure that you get enough zinc to keep your pancreas firing on all cylinders. 6, is zinc good for your heart? In 2015 meta-analysis, researchers found that zinc supplementation significantly reduced total cholesterol, LDL or the bad cholesterol, and triglycerides, which are risk factors for heart disease when elevated. Studies show that having adequate levels of zinc in your body may help prevent plaque buildup in your arteries, which can protect your heart. 7, zinc and eye health. Zinc also works alongside antioxidants to support eye health and normal vision. Not getting enough zinc can also worsen night vision. Some research indicates that zinc supplementation with oxidant vitamins can slow the progression of age-related macular degeneration, a condition in which the central field of vision becomes blurred or lost over time. This is a pretty significant contribution considering macular degeneration is the leading cause of blindness among the elderly in Western countries. So, how much zinc do you need? The recommended daily allowance for zinc is fairly small compared to other vitamins and minerals. Although it increases from infancy to teenagers, it largely remains the same throughout adulthood. Before we go on reading the recommended daily allowances, I want you to understand kind of what recommended daily allowances are, okay? They come up with some of this stuff, recommendations, but a lot of it's based on, they just average it out on what the normal people have, okay, whatever normal is. And they average it out rather than saying what is optimal. You know, optimal is what can really help you boost your health, okay? Rather, they're going for the minimum. What is the minimum you need to stay alive and not get sick?
Actually, that's been dropping too. Their ideas have been dropping and dropping.
And part of that is because they take the average of what the average person has. Well, the average keeps going down as we get sicker and sicker and sicker. And that's why their recommend daily allowance, all that stuff is going down because of different things like that. So I look at the RDAs and I just kind of look at them, but I don't really what you do need to know is you need to at least be getting what they say. But chances are you probably need more, okay? So they're saying, I'm just gonna say for an adult, 12 milligrams, okay?
A day?
Yeah, 12 milligrams, or 10, they say 11 to 12. So that's minimum, okay, but you probably need more, okay. So where can you get these? He doesn't talk about all the sources. He doesn't go into the meats and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna give you what he says, and then I'll supplement it with some other stuff, okay? So he says, for instance, whole grains, soy food from tofu, tempeh and legumes, nuts and seeds are all zinc-rich foods. 1 ounce or 30 gram serving of pumpkin seeds contains 2 milligrams of zinc, and the same amount of whole hemp seeds provides 3 milligrams. However, many plant-based zinc foods are also high in phytates, which can reduce zinc absorption. So even though they have zinc, if they have the phytates, the zinc will go in and out rather than getting absorbed into your system.
So whole grains, seafood, seafood.
Okay, so anyway, we talked last year about phytates and how to reduce phytates in grains, seeds, and nuts. Do you remember how we did that?
Soaking.
Soaking, sprouting, souring, all of those things. Get rid of the phytates. Phytates are on the outside
Like
all
lectins or
grains.
lectins, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
The grains, seeds, and nuts, and that's why soaking them gets rid of that, because that keeps the nutrients from being absorbed into our bodies.
Phytates, P-H-Y.
Phytates.
Okay.
It's like the bugs that they're trying to put into foods and whatnot. But the bugs have this thing called, they're saying, oh, it's high in protein. The bugs have something called chitin in it that keeps things from being digested.
Right. Chitin is very bad. One way to combat this is to prepare zinc and phytate-rich foods in a way that reduces the phytate content. You can reduce the phytate content of grains and legumes by soaking, sprouting, fermenting, or simply cooking them before eating. You heard it here first. Don't eat raw wheat berries or black beans, okay? Don't eat them raw. To increase zinc absorption, you can also eat zinc-containing foods with a source of protein. That's another thing that will help it absorb. Amino acids found in, he says, plant-based foods such as nuts, seeds, and whole grains bond well with zinc in the body. However, eating a wide variety of whole plant foods in addition to being a common sense approach to diet in general can help ensure you get enough zinc and other trace minerals. For example, those nuts and seeds are high in protein and give you zinc as part of the total package of goodness. While zinc and vitamin C are often combined in supplements aimed at reducing the duration and severity of the common cold, this is mainly because both nutrients can have immune-enhancing properties.
What if you're taking zinc with other vitamins? Is there something in the other vitamins that can block?
There is, and we're going to talk about some of that. There are certain ones you don't want to take together, okay? Vitamin C boosts iron absorption, but doesn't have the same effect on zinc. However, citrate, also often found in vitamin C containing foods like citrus fruits, may help enhance zinc absorption. So it doesn't hurt to eat a little vitamin C rich foods like oranges, grapefruits, and lemons alongside the zinc. And then he gives a list of all of these, what he calls good foods. He gives several of them here. They're all plant-based because he's all into plant-based, okay? Mm-hmm. He gives azuki beans, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, black beans, pink beans, almonds, peanuts, butternuts, butternuts. They look like walnuts. I don't know, hazelnuts and teff. So, zinc deficiency. It's estimated that about 17% of the world's population is deficient in zinc, with a higher incidence in South Asia and sub-Saharan Africa. Early in life, zinc deficiency may manifest in children as stunted growth. Other symptoms may include lack of appetite, unintentional weight loss, loose stools, low energy levels, increased susceptibility to infections, loss of hair, skin rashes, impotence, and problems with vision, taste, or smell. But how is zinc deficiency diagnosed? Because its symptoms are fairly generalized across several conditions, formal diagnosis usually involves ruling out other disorders that can present similarly. Your doctor may do a complete blood count panel to check for an infection or anemia. If zinc deficiency is suspected, a blood test can be ordered. And he goes into some things about that. Are you at risk for zinc deficiency? The risk for zinc deficiency depends on the individual and involves the factors like age, diet pattern, medical conditions, and certain lifestyle habits. Many omnivores get a good deal of their zinc from oysters, beef, dairy, and other animal products. So that's where you can get it from. Especially beef is a really good source of vitamin zinc. Oats, pumpkin seeds, lentils, and peanut butter can also be good sources. However, some plant-based eaters may tend towards lower end of the range regarding dietary intake. In addition, the absorption rate for foods rich in zinc can range from 16 to 50%, meaning that the remaining zinc passes through your body unused. But what does that mean for you? Some research indicates that those who follow a plant-based diet may need to eat as much as 50% more zinc than the recommended amounts to compensate for loss of absorption due to phytates, or take daily zinc supplement. And the other source I have also recommends how plant eaters that don't eat any meats have a lot of trouble and need to be taking a lot more because they're found to be a lot more deficient. So who is at high risk there? And the ones that I looked at, I'm just going to pull out here the one that sticks out to me. Those with absorption disorders, such as ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, or conditions with persistent diarrhea. And another one, people who use high-dose iron supplements, because taking iron with zinc supplements or zinc-rich foods may impair zinc absorption. So,
What about magnesium? Because I take magnesium.
I'll get to that one. I think my doctor suggests taking them apart.
Okay.
So anyway, so this is the other one. Iron is one that doesn't work well with zinc at the same time. Take them apart by a few hours. Okay, so zinc supplements. Zinc is one of the few minerals plant-based eaters may have difficulty absorbing in sufficient quantities from food alone. Generally, an estimated 17% of people are low in zinc, but it may be as high as 30% in vegans. For this reason, plant-based eaters and people at a heightened risk of zinc deficiency may want to consider adding a zinc supplement. The best way to be 100% certain you're getting enough every day is by taking a high-quality zinc supplement. One of the most cost-effective and widely available zinc types is zinc gluconate, commonly found in cold and flu lozenges. However, some studies show that zinc picolinate and zinc citrate appear to have better absorption rates. And in one study, the zinc bisglycinate was found to be 43%.
What was the last one? Glycinate?
Bisglycinate. The one that my doctor uses mostly is picolinate, zinc picolinate. So anyway, zinc is best taken an hour before or 2 hours after a meal. Also, for cold and flu prevention, zinc works best if taken within 24 hours of the beginning of the symptoms to reduce the length and severity of the illness. Some studies have linked zinc in nasal sprays to a loss of smell. So you might want to steer clear of those.
Why do they do that?
So, precautions.
What about the ones that you put under your tongue?
You can put them under your tongue, yes. But, let's see.
They have zinc squirter up your nose.
Yeah, the ones that go up your nose though, that's what we say, the sprays.
There was a big lawsuit with that too.
Oh, okay.
When they were marketing Zicam, there was a big class action lawsuit because so many people lost their sense of smell or had it reduced
Wow.
because of that. And Ted thinks that that's why he lost his sense of smell.
Oh, because he was using a spray?
We were using it at that time, but he also had acid reflux, and sometimes there would be, issues with that too, so.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Did he get it back?
Oh,
How long was it?
okay.
It's been a while.
So precautions. With all the benefits of zinc we've looked at, you might think that more is better, is always better. Unfortunately, it's not. You can experience zinc toxicity and overdose on zinc if you take too high of a dose of zinc supplements. Signs that you're getting too much zinc may include nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, diarrhea, stomach cramps, and headaches. If you get too much zinc over an extended period, you can experience additional side effects like decreased copper levels, reduced immunity, and sometimes reduced levels of HDL, which is the good cholesterol. Understanding the upper limits of zinc supplementation can help you make sure you're not consuming an unwise amount. In general, you'd probably have to take over 100 milligrams of zinc per day to start experiencing any adverse effects. Almost 10 times the recommended daily dose, okay? And the research is showing that the ones that have had major problems with it, the studies have shown that some of them were taking in excess of 200 grams daily for a long period of time, and it led to major problems. So, it's also noteworthy that supplemental zinc may interact with certain drugs and medications. For instance, some antibiotics, penicillamine, which is a drug for managing rheumatoid arthritis, diuretics, and even other minerals may interact or cause zinc absorption issues. It's probably wise to speak with your healthcare provider.
They don't know.
Yeah. The good thing about getting zinc from food, however, is that most serving sizes are well below 100 milligrams, where symptoms of toxicity may occur. The only food that may pose problems is oysters, which can contain up to 74 milligrams per 3-ounce serving. But most of us don't consume them daily either.
I eat a lot of oysters.
But,
Not daily though.
right. So, anyway, he goes into more things here. I'm not going to go into anything else he has to say. So, I'm going to switch to a different doctor, my doctor, that we listened to on the video the other day.
The guy from Texas?
Yeah. So, I'm just going to pull out excerpts from what he says. Zinc is critical to human life. Zinc is involved in over 200 enzyme pathways in the human body. So even though you don't need a lot, it's involved in a lot of things in your body. Zinc deficiency in agricultural soils is considered to be the most geographically widespread micronutrient deficiency of all of them. Zinc.
Even if you live near the ocean.
Well, in the soils where
Well,
they're
that's why they
constantly.
That's why they grind up oyster shells.
Well, that's for calcium.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more for calcium.
Well, no, for putting in the plant, for plants to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you the zinc though. The zinc is in the oysters. So.
Yeah, and he says, as I've done this longer and longer, the amounts of zinc I've used with my clients have only gone up. And so he's increased, but not like huge amounts, but increased slightly.
So put zinc on your vegetables.
You need zinc to displace or kick copper out of the liver and to protect you from copper get it all out of your system. Zinc, they're opposites. Zinc and copper are opposites. So more zinc will help get the copper out. if you have too much zinc, it'll displace your, if you have too much copper, it'll displace your zinc. They're opposites. Okay, the detox process will sometimes use up more zinc than your diet can provide, potentially leaving you with an even worse zinc deficiency than you started with. And so that's why he recommends testing to make sure where your levels are. And he tests blood and hair. Sometimes the detox uses up even more zinc. Okay. So it's not a game. Okay. The long-term safe dose of zinc percolinate that I have come up with for adults is 30 milligrams a day. He used to recommend 15, but now he's saying 30. But the caution that he has is a lot of people that are very high in copper in their system cannot tolerate much zinc at the beginning, and they have to be careful because they'll start feeling sick if it starts releasing the copper too quickly.
Oh, that's probably why I get sick with too much zinc.
See, it's getting rid of the copper, but you got to get rid of it at a slower rate, or you're going to feel sick.
Have you discussed how we get copper in our system?
There are several ways. Copper pipes is one of them. I've got an article here. It goes into some of the ways. Copper pipes, copper cookware. There's copper cookware out there, and there's different variation. There's foods too that have copper in them. If you have strong negative reactions to a low dose of zinc, then you are likely quite copper toxic. You need to be very careful with your dosing, and you may not be able to take any until later in your detox process. Nearly everyone tests low on zinc, so just because you react badly to it doesn't mean you don't need it. That said, your reaction means you need a lower dose, or you shouldn't take it yet, okay, until you get some of the other things out. Zinc toxicity is a real thing, and he goes into that. He says the same thing as the other article said, but it was found mostly in the ones that were above 200 milligrams a day for months and months that were having the issue. If you contain or continue taking too much zinc when you know it doesn't make you feel good, you are not listening to yourself. You need to listen to yourself. If you're not feeling well, don't take so much. That's on all of his stuff, he says. That's what he says. Everyone's different. And so if you don't feel good when you're taking it, lower the amount. Okay. Can you get enough zinc from foods? And
Not always.
not always.
In my case, I cannot.
And it goes into talking about soil factors and why and all of this stuff. So zinc deficiency is the most ubiquitous micronutrient deficient problem in world crops. Zinc is essential for both plants and animals because it is a structural, consistent, and regulatory cofactor in enzymes and proteins involved in many biochemical pathways. 1/3 of the human population suffers from an inadequate intake of zinc. And then he goes into all these different countries, and I'm just going to talk about the United States here. Compared with other micronutrients, deficiencies in zinc are more widespread. Several soil types having pH above 6.0 and low in organic matter are prone to deficiency in this micronutrient. In the United States,
Give me that again. pH above 6.0.
And low in organic matter are deficient in this micronutrient. In the United States, zinc deficiency for one or more crops was reported for 30 states that they were showing it deficient. Zinc sufficiency was reported to increase insect, pest, and disease-resistant crop plants.
Ooh, really?
So that's another reason. If there's zinc, there's less pests on your crops.
That might explain a few things.
And saying all this about the plants being deficient, okay? And the animals eat the plants, right? Being that muscle meat, particularly red meat, is the highest source of the most bioavailable zinc, so red meat, if you are any version of a vegetarian or only eating poultry, you are unlikely to be getting anywhere near the zinc that you need to heal.
But if you're eating red meat, it also is higher in iron.
But somehow when they're in it together, it's different than when you supplement. I don't know why that is. You know, God puts things together, but when we try to do it, we don't always do it right.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but anyway. So what is the role of zinc, he says here? Zinc is an essential trace element also for human health. Humans require at least 25 elements for their well-being. Zinc isn't the only one, it's just one of 25. The dietary sources of most of these elements are crop plants. Unfortunately, mineral malnutrition is prevalent in both developed and developing countries, and it is estimated that up to 2/3 of the world's population might be at risk of deficiency in one or more essential mineral element. This is considered to be one of the most serious challenges to mankind. In the past, the focus of agronomists and policymakers was on crop yields. Consequently, crop nutrition quality was neglected, and this phenomenon is presumably responsible for mineral malnutrition in humans. They were just looking at getting more out. Zinc deficiency was identified as the most prevalent of all of these elements and has been identified with increasing concern. Skipping down. Okay. Okay, he talked about somewhere that they were getting toxic, I think, and he said, this amount of zinc for 15 milligrams, a person would have to consume 3/4 of a pound per day of red meat. Poultry has much less than red meat, and plants even less. Intake less than this recommended amount can cause slow physiological processes and result in many diseases. Diseases in infants and children caused by zinc deficiency include diarrhea, pneumonia, stunted linear growth, weak immune systems, and retarded mental growth. Zinc deficiency in pregnant women can even lead to mortality in infants. And he goes talking more about zinc deficiency in grown-up children and adolescent males causes retarded growth and dwarfism, retarded sexual development, impaired sense of taste, and poor appetite and mental lethargy. Going down. Oral doses of zinc can accelerate healing in chronic skin conditions or diseases. And zinc supplements improved growth and height of children. As people get better, their tolerance and need for zinc actually goes up, because when they start getting the copper out, they're able to eat more, and then the more of it they take, the better it is, and it starts improving their system. So you can just keep increasing it. I probably wouldn't go much above 30. Okay.
Does he address, like, I take all my pills all at once. And
There's some you should not take together.
does he have good information?
Mm-hmm. But he does say, once you get a lot of the toxins out of your system, like a lot of that copper, you eventually may not need to supplement if you're getting enough of it in the foods that you're eating, like having enough in the red meats that you're taking in, if you're taking enough of that. Like if someone switched and was a vegetarian and switched and started eating more red meat, eventually they might not need to supplement as much because they might be getting enough out of the meat and stuff. Okay, that's that. Now it goes into talking about it is critical in protecting us from alcohols. Specifically, he's talking about vitamin A is an alcohol. And it's also important for protecting us from cholestasis or liver injury. So he says ethanol is chemically classified as an alcohol. Ethanol is known to cause cholestasis and liver injury. Over time, consumption of ethanol slows down ADH and ALDH in the liver, which are the main detox pathways. If you have too much, if you don't have enough zinc, those pathways don't stay clear. Retinol is technically an alcohol. That's vitamin A, is retinol. Retinol causes cholestasis and liver injury. He's going to be, he says, doing a video soon on that. Retinol goes through the same ADH and ALDH pathways in the liver, and consumption of vitamin A over time will slow these down as well.
Doesn't vitamin A, can't you, because it builds up in your system.
Right, and you don't want it to build up in your
No.
system. So, before I lay out this next study, he's going to go through a study here. Before I lay out this next study, remember that ethanol, an alcohol, and retinol cause the same type of damage to the liver. So the zinc deficiency that is talked about here would likely also cause the same problems in both. If you've been putting off getting your levels tested, consider doing that. Okay, I'm going to skip that. I'll skip some of this. I'm just going to read highlights. Genetics loads the gun, but it is an environment when we take our bodies for granted that pulls the trigger. Okay, so he's talking about our genes that we have. Each of us have different genes from where we came from. Some of us have genes that if the certain things we eat and stuff happen, we can become obese or we can become whatever. Our genes, the expression will happen, okay? But if you don't do those things, that genetic expression doesn't necessarily happen, okay? So that's what that means here, is genetics loads the gun. So the gun's there, but it's the conditions that pull the trigger, okay? It's the environment. That's what pulls the trigger. You are not a victim of your genetics. You are a victim of your toxins, deficiencies, and liver injury that you have that they have caused you, and you can fix that. You can't fix your genes. You can't change your genes, but you can fix the expression of them by the way you eat. Leaky gut is a major thing for showing zinc deficiency. Zinc deficiency is also a risk factor in alcoholic liver disease. I don't think that affects many of us here, but and his summary on this article was, the moral of the story is that the zinc piece of the health equation is an absolute critical mineral to fix in a properly individualized way to help correct cholestasis or liver injury that is at the root of nearly all modern chronic health issues. A mistake I've seen many times is people assuming that their diet will automatically take care of this for them. Sadly, I have not seen this to be true in any case yet, where I have seen testing. So don't hold your breath that you'll be the exception. So, and I think there's just one more thing here. I'm just trying to get, for time, just hit highlights. Acne is associated with zinc deficiency in literature. Gluten eaten at the same meal as zinc seems to inhibit zinc absorption.
Gluten,
At the same time as zinc can inhibit that. Ergo, celiac is very linked to vitamin A toxicity combined with a zinc deficiency. People who don't have a significant zinc deficiency don't tend to get celiac as much. That's why acne people, also known as zinc deficient, get more celiac from vitamin A toxicity, while zinc adequate don't. Rheumatoid arthritis seems to be a combination of vitamin A toxicity and copper toxicity, which also implies a zinc deficiency because copper and zinc are opposites. Okay. So, I didn't have time to highlight this one. I think this is, yeah. Zinc good, copper bad. Let's take on this one. He has a summary here. Correcting zinc deficiency and addressing obvious, outright, and stored, hidden in the liver copper toxicity are extremely important to your health and will help make the poison of vitamin A detox program process smoother with less suffering. I highly suggest getting testing done for zinc and copper before you start your journey. So why is zinc so particularly important in this process? One, glyphosate chelates or depletes zinc is quite strong. This means that stopping your exposure to glyphosate and detoxing it is important. That said, your zinc stores don't just automatically fill up once you have the zinc or have the glyphosate gone. You need to put it back in. Okay, just getting rid of the one doesn't replete the stores. It just keeps it from getting any worse. Zinc is critical to running the alcohol dehydrogenase, also known as retinol dehydrogenase, whatever, enzyme system. One of the most important parts of the entire poison or vitamin A detox program. Zinc is necessary to make retinol binding proteins, RBPs, a type of antibody that your body makes to protect you from retinol while it is floating around in your bloodstream. Free retinol that is unbound is extremely toxic. Binding it inside RBP makes it less toxic. Making RBP uses up zinc. So if you're getting too much of the vitamin A, then it has to make this other thing, and that uses up your zinc stores.
Vitamin A is primarily found where, real quick?
It's found in a lot of things.
I know eggs.
Well, that's just one thing. It's found in a lot of things.
vitamin A is?
It's found, yes, it's found in squash. It's found in carrots, very high in carrots.
Carotene, vitamin
Yes,
A?
yes.
Okay, I'm with it then, okay.
Yeah, it's found in a lot of that colored stuff. Zinc is antagonistic to copper and vice versa.
Antagonistic.
Oh yeah. Antagonistic, man, my brain. Well, this means getting enough zinc will help bring down your obvious high copper situation. It will also help to start fixing the liver and freeing up stored toxic copper in your liver due to cholestasis. Too much zinc too soon in a low copper person will start freeing up too much copper too fast and will make the person feel copper toxic because they can't get rid of it through the bile fast enough. Fixing one problem can cause another is not what you want to do here. You don't want to major on one thing and blow yourself out of the water the other way. Okay. Anything else I want to highlight? There is a zinc taste test. Yeah, there is. And he says, I don't put my weight on this test at all. I have never been able to taste much on this test, even when my hair and blood tests both said that I was okay in zinc. There's another test is the fingernails. If you get white spots on your fingernails or ridges, that's another thing. Can be a significant sign.
Might have gone away since I started taking more zinc.
Okay.
Well, my endocrinologist looks at my fingers a lot, but they're like looking at the dark I have hypothyroidism, and they check for oxygen levels in my oxygen, and you can see like dark line.
So,
my fingers.
some results of some blood tests have shown that vegans have driven themselves into high copper and low zinc through their diet. And the carnivore diet, which is beef, salt, and water, carnivore diets, have driven themselves into low copper and high zinc. So, anyway, he says, obviously we want to be somewhere between these two extremes. Okay, and here's that part. There is a rare low copper type person who, if they take zinc supplements or eat too much zinc from foods, will feel significantly worse from zinc. And he's going to explain more that she does in the
I
future.
just wonder, could zinc help my friend?
It might. I mean, almost everyone is low in zinc.
It's just totally plant-based.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very fragile.
Yes. She's definitely not getting enough from plants.
No.
They put zinc in this quercetin vitamin tablet that I take. They put zinc in with it. I don't know how much.
Which one's, well, yeah.
Okay.
Have to look.
And that's all I'm going to go into, I think, today. But that just gives you some information on it.
When are you taking a little mini vacation, by the way?
What?
When are you going on your vacation, next week?
Next week.
Not this week, okay.
Next week. It'll be Monday.
Yeah.
And it goes through Sunday.
Okay.
I'll check out soon. So, but the Gideons are showing up that Sunday in church, and so we
You
might-
need more of a vacation, talk to Marty.
I know, but that's the only.
Do you want me to
It
talk
was
to
originally
Marty?
supposed to be Sunday through Sunday, but then I said I can't miss Bible Sunday.
I'll talk with you one-on-one, I'll talk with you later.
So anyway, okay.
Is my cousin Wally coming?
I don't know. I haven't seen him
I
except
haven't
at the
seen him in a
Gideons.
while either.
There's supposed to be a Gideon's. No, he's not coming to speak. It's the guy from Scott Smith, I think, is who's coming from Naysau.
Oh. Our Scott?
No. Scott Smith from Naysau.
Okay.
He's a Gideon. He's the one that's coming, I think. So anyway, that's it for today. And next week, no nutrition class. Okay? Okay, thank you for coming.